As soon as the episode begins, we see the female lead Shishi, whose phone rings with a call from her mom, who says, "Here is a problem in the shop." When she arrives at her shop, she finds a girl accusing Shishi's mom of ruining her dress. The girl demands, "I want 30,000 yen as compensation." Shishi looks at the dress and says, "Its price is only 200 yen. The girl threatens, "If you don't pay, I'll call the police." Shishi exposes her lie in front of everyone, and the girl, embarrassed, leaves the shop. However, Shishi still gives her 150 yuan. Next, we see the male lead, Si Chen, a businessman. He is focused on expanding his business. His assistant informs him, "There's an upcoming meeting with Alex, a renowned fashion designer with his own wedding brand." Si Chen asks, "Gather information about Alex." Meanwhile, Shishi is working on her laptop because she owns an online store. She tells her friend, "I have a feeling we'll receive a big order today." Si Chen browses names of shoppers, spots Shishi's name, and messages her, "I want to buy a dress from you." Shishi's friend is astonished to hear about the massive order, exclaiming, "It's worth 1.28 million yuan, and we'll earn a 10% commission." Her friend advises, "Confirm the order." Shishi hesitates, saying, "We don't have Alex's dress in stock." Her friend suggests, "You should attend the party Alex is hosting and buy the dress there." Shishi confirms the order, and Si Chen 10% commission. Later, Si Chen's assistant informs him, "I've gathered information about Alex and also found the shopper and deposited the payment." Meanwhile, Shishi spends the entire day researching Alex. Her friend offers, "Take my car to help you appear rich in front of Alex." At the party, Shishi searches for Alex, but gets harassed by a man. To escape, she stands next to Si Chen. They engage in a conversation, and Si Chen asks, "Do you know who I am?" Looking at his attire, Shishi says, "You seem like a serious man, and possibly a leader at some company." Si Chen is impressed by her response. They talk for a while, and she thanks him, "Thank you," before leaving to find Alex. Shishi approaches Alex to impress him and buy the dress, unaware that Si Chen also wants this to happen. Si Chen had given Shishi information about Alex to help her impress him. Shishi greets Alex, who asks, "Who designed your dress?" She tells him, "I designed it myself. I'm a new designer." Alex is greatly impressed and tells her, "You have significant knowledge of design. Join me during my speech and say a few words." Overjoyed, Shishi immediately agrees, "I'd love to." Then, Alex's security guards approach Shishi and ask, "Do you have a permission card to attend the party? We were informed you're here without an invitation." Shishi explains, "My partner has it." When the guards ask, "What's your partner's name?" Shishi cannot answer, and they warn her, "We may have to call the police." She says, "Give me 5 minutes." And just then, Si Chen arrives and says, "I think you need my help." Shishi realizes she has been trapped. It is shown that Si Chen had informed the security guards because he wanted to execute his plan. Shishi asks him, "What do you want?" Si Chen replies, "I need a girl who can impress Alex, and you just did that." He tells her, "Help me and I'll save you." She agrees. Si Chen puts a necklace on Shishi. She asks about the necklace, but Si Chen doesn't say anything. Then they both go to Alex. Seeing them, Alex assumes they are partners. Alex closely examines the necklace and asks, "Where did you get this necklace?" Shishi asks Alex, "What is special about this necklace?" Alex explains, "My wife, who was a renowned jewelry designer, designed this necklace. After her death, I sold it. Could you wear a dress and this necklace designed by her and accompany me on stage to honor her memory?" However, Si Chen takes Shishi away from there. Shishi gets very angry and accuses him, "Your plan is to hurt Alex's feelings." Si Chen denies this and says, "Don't ruin my plan." He takes the necklace off her neck and says, "Leave from here. You have no business here." Shishi calls her friend, explains everything, and says, "I will accomplish what I came here to do." She then tells the security guards, "My necklace is missing." When Alex learns about it, Si Chen comes to Shishi and says, "You gave me your necklace to hold, don't you remember?" Later, Shishi tells Alex, "I've heard your dresses are very expensive and I want to buy one." Alex gives her his room number and says, "You can come anytime to get a dress." He then invites her to dance. Si Chen interrupts, saying, "This is not the time to enjoy." Shishi says, "You got what you wanted and I got what I wanted." When the celebration ends, Shishi is about to leave but twists her ankle, and she is about to fall in the pool. Just then, Si Chen comes to save her, but he accidentally kisses her and falls into the pool together. Later, Shishi tells her friend about Si Chen. Her friend gets excited and shares, Si Chen came here 2 years ago. Instead of joining his family's company, he established a mall and everyone knows him for his business talent. Next, Shishi goes to meet Mr. Alex. Alex says, Si Chen told me you had a cold. Shishi pretends to have a cold in front of Alex. She then says, you told me you'd sell me a wedding dress, so I've come to get it. Alex replies, didn't Si Chen tell you the contract has already been signed? Alex wonders if Si Chen's surprise might have been ruined. Shishi responds, it wasn't a surprise, it was a shock. She leaves, telling Alex, I won't reveal anything about you to Si Chen. On the other side, Xiaoya tells Shishi, you've become famous, and everyone thinks you and Si Chen are in a relationship. Your kissing photo has gone viral. Shishi then receives a message from her boyfriend, I want breakup. She goes to a restaurant and sees her boyfriend with another girl. She asks him, who is this girl? He replies, she's my friend. Shishi says, I wanted to explain everything to you, but not anymore. She then breaks up herself and leaves. Later at the party, Shishi sits with her friend and drinks heavily. Si Chen arrives at the party with his friend Shang. In her intoxicated state, Shishi mistakes Si Chen for Xiaoya and starts bad-mouthing him in front of Si Chen, saying, I found it's Si Chen who destroyed my love life. Then she falls asleep in his lap and says, I'm very tired. Take me home. Si Chen places her in his car, and while standing outside, Shishi kisses him. She tells him her home address, and he drops her off at her house. In the next scene, Shishi visits Si Chen's office to meet him and says, Alex promised to sell me the wedding dress. Si Chen responds, in 3 months, this dress will be available in my mall. You can buy it from there. Shishi insists, saying, I urgently need it now. Si Chen teases her, are you in such a hurry to get married? You just had a breakup. Shishi is shocked and wonders how he knows everything. Si Chen continues, except for my mall, you can't get this dress anywhere else. In the meantime, if I need to get married, I'll take this dress for my wife. But if I do get married, it won't be with you. Shishi angrily tells him, because of you, my life is ruined. So go to the media and clarify everything. Si Chen refuses, saying, if we do that, everyone will find out that we cheated Alex and I'll suffer a huge loss. Finally, Si Chen says, if your anger has cooled, you can leave. As Shishi turns to leave, her shoelace comes undone and she almost falls, but Si Chen catches her. Before she leaves, he stops her to take a selfie with her. Shishi gets furious. Si Chen mockingly says, if you don't have a good excuse, don't come back to me for money or by pretending to need help. Shishi leaves angrily. Now a girl named Shi Wei comes to meet Si Chen, who is his childhood friend. She says, sorry, I couldn't go with you to Alex's party. Si Chen responds, no problem. Then she gives him a tie as a gift. Meanwhile, Shishi goes to meet Alex and says, Si Chen and I are going to get married, and I want to wear a wedding dress designed by you for the wedding. Alex replies, Si Chen already purchased that wedding dress, so I can't sell it to you. But if you want, I can sell you a new dress I've designed. Hearing this, Shishi becomes very happy. After this, she messages a customer, who turns out to be Si Chen, though neither of them knows the truth. Shishi says, I've secured the rights to Alex's dress, so now you need to make the payment. But Si Chen replies, I'll pay only after I get the dress. Shishi agrees to his condition. In the next scene, Shishi goes to meet her childhood friend Mo Xing, whom she teaches drawing. However, Mo Xing keeps staring at her. Shishi says, observing details is important for drawing, so observe my face. But Mo Xing gets lost in her eyes. In the following scene, Alex hosts a party where a reporter asks him, can you show a sample of your new dress? Alex replies, I've already sold it to Si Chen's fiancé. Hearing this, Si Chen becomes very angry at Shishi. In the next scene, Si Chen comes to talk to Shishi. Meanwhile, Shishi gets a call from Xiaoya, who tells her, one of our customers has canceled their wedding dress order. Shishi says, give me the customer's address. Xiaoya gives her the address, which turns out to be Si Chen's company. Shishi asks him, does your company have someone named Girl's Dream Lover? Si Chen responds, oh, so you're the fraud seller. Shishi angrily says, I went through so much trouble to get that dress from Alex, and who would name themselves Girl's Dream Lover anyway? Si Chen responds, because many girls want to marry me. Just then, his assistant comes and informs him that Alex is about to sign a contract with another company, but is still quite impressed with Shishi. Hearing this, Si Chen says to Shishi, if you keep pretending to be my fiancé, I'll compensate you for your loss. Shishi, having no other option, agrees. Si Chen then says, "My assistant will give you all my information. Memorize all the details." In the next scene, Shishi is seen memorizing his information when she receives a friend request from Si Chen. She rejects it, so Si Chen messages her, saying, "Don't reject it again." She then accepts his request. Si Chen asks, "Have you memorized all my information? For every wrong answer, you'll have to pay me 500 yuan. Shishi gets angry but replies, "Okay, boss, don't disturb me during work hours." In the next scene, Si Chen invites Shishi to dinner. After dinner, when she is about to leave, Si Chen hands her a blank check and says, "You can write any amount you want." But Shishi replies, "No, I just want the money I've lost." Si Chen responds, "Are you falling in love with me? I know women like you can do anything for money." Hearing this, Shishi gets angry, throws water on him, and leaves. Someone is secretly taking pictures of them. In the following scene, Si Chen's assistant tells him, "Alex said that after your 10-month marriage, he'll collaborate with us." Hearing this, Si Chen says, "Does that mean I really have to get married?" After this, he goes to Shishi. She says, "Didn't I tell you never to meet me again?" Si Chen responds, "Let's get married." He shows her an agreement and explains, "We only need to stay married for 10 months, after which we'll get a divorce. I will also compensate you for this." He adds, "According to the law, we'll need a real marriage license." Shishi refuses and tries to leave, but Si Chen stops her, saying, "You have no choice but to marry me." Later, Shishi receives a parcel sent by Si Chen. He also has a girl from his office. She calls Shishi and pretends to be Alex's assistant, saying, "The dress has been sent to you." Shishi says, "I want to cancel the order," but she refuses, telling her, "You must make the payment for the dress within 3 days." Si Chen and assistant are happy because they believe Shishi will now agree to the marriage. Meanwhile, Xiaoya suggests, "Tell Alex the whole truth," but Shishi refuses. Shishi then goes to Si Chen and agrees to marry him with some conditions. "We will divorce after 10 months, and you will pay me 1 million yuan as compensation." Shishi adds, "You will interfere as little as possible in my life. I must have a private room, you will pay me double for overtime, and most importantly, you must not develop any feelings for me." Si Chen says, "You have too much confidence." They revise the contract and Shishi signs it. In the next scene, Shishi appears in a wedding dress. Si Chen is mesmerized by her beauty and then helps her with her heels. Then the day of marriage arrives. Shu Wei also comes. She congratulates Si Chen and says to Shishi, "You took my love from me." After this, Shishi asks Si Chen, "Will I also have to face rival in the contract marriage?" So he says, "If you don't love me, then how did she become your rival?" Then, Shishi and Si Chen get married, exchange rings, and Si Chen kisses her. Si Chen says, "From now on, you are my wife and you should start socializing." Later, everyone is having dinner. At that moment, Shishi's mom hands Si Chen a note. Si Chen steps aside to read it and finds a card inside. It says, "Since Shishi is now your wife, you must take care of her." She also mentions Shishi dreams of becoming a designer. The assistant then says, "Shishi has consumed too much alcohol." So both of them take her to the room. At that moment, Shishi starts feeling like vomiting. After a while, she feels better and then, crying, she says, "I wanted to marry the person I love, but I ended up marrying someone I hate." Hearing this, Si Chen says, "I have no feelings inside me, and I don't have time for any of this." Later, Si Chen falls onto the bed with Shishi and she hugs him while falling asleep. In the next scene, Shishi wakes up and calls out, "Si Chen." When he comes, he shows her around the house. Shishi then asks him, "Where did you sleep last night?" Si Chen tells her, "I was in the study." She then asks, "Where will we sleep from now on?" Si Chen says, "No one should find out about our fake marriage, so we have to share one room." Hearing this, Shishi becomes worried. Si Chen reassures her, saying, "I don't have any feelings for you." He then takes her to a room and tells her, "You can sleep here. This is a connected room. I will come here only to change my dress." Later, when Shishi enters the room, she says, "This room is so big." Then she sees a photo of Si Chen and starts bad-mouthing about him. Just then, Si Chen enters wearing only a towel. Shishi closes her eyes in embarrassment, and Si Chen apologizes and leaves. After he leaves, she turns off the lights and lies down to sleep, but becomes scared when she sees a shadow. She rushes to Si Chen, who is doing push-ups, and says, "Why are you making so much noise? I couldn't sleep because of you." Si Chen replies, "I have insomnia. Exercising helps me sleep for at least 2 or 3 hours, though it doesn't always work." Shishi starts laughing and says, "Do you know why you can't sleep? Because you think bad thoughts." Hearing this, Si Chen moves closer to her, and she gets scared. Si Chen says, I'll sleep in the study room. Shishi replies, if you sleep there, everyone will know our secret. We can sleep on the same room, but separately. Si-chen agrees and Shishi quickly lies down on the bed saying, I'll sleep here. Si-chen responds, the bed is mine, and moves her to the sofa, making her very angry. Later, when she sees him reading a book, she also picks up a book and starts reading loudly. Si-chen asks, why are you reading so loudly? Shishi replies, this is how I read. Her loud reading eventually puts Si-chen to sleep. Shishi notices this and says, Si-chen was saying he can't sleep easily, but look, he's already asleep. She covers him with a blanket. The next morning, Si-chen wakes up, checks the time, and says, last night, I actually slept well. Shishi, who is also awake, says, you fell asleep so quickly last night, maybe because of my reading. Si-chen replies, fine, read to me again tonight. Si-chen leaves for the office, and Shishi goes back to sleep. Later, Xiaoya arrives and says, our online store has been shut down. Shishi is shocked. They decide to meet the director of the Meng group. When they arrive, Mo Xing appears and says, I'll help you meet the director. Then Mo Xing's assistant calls him Mr. Mo, shocking Shishi and Xiaoya, as they realize Mo Xing himself is the director. They explain their problem to Mo Xing, who tells his assistant, resolve it. He also offers them lunch, but Shishi declines. Mo Xing gives Shishi a gift. Seeing it, Shishi becomes very happy. Shishi returns home, and Si-chen's grandma gives her a gift. Shishi becomes very happy upon seeing it and says, this must be very expensive. She thanks her. So grandma says, I will be happy if you give me a grandson. Shishi ignores this. Then Si-chen calls Shishi to the study and says, you should call me darling at home. Angrily, Shishi calls him darling. Si-chen then asks, did you go to the Meng group today? Shishi responds, I didn't know you were secretly keeping an eye on me. Si-chen asks, why did you meet Mo Xing? Shishi says, I didn't meet him secretly. I met him openly. Si-chen tells her, this was your last mistake that I've forgiven. From now on, you'll have to pay for every mistake. Si-chen asks Shishi, how long have you known Mo Xing, and what is your relationship with him? Shishi explains, he was my senior in school and is now the director of the Meng group. I went there to unlock my online store and had lunch with him. Shishi then gives Si-chen the bag grandma gave her, saying, it's a contract gift. Si-chen says, since grandma gave it to you, you should keep it. Later, Shishi and grandma are eating together, and grandma asks, did you and Si-chen have a fight? I don't want to interfere in your privacy, but I saw you sleeping on the rocking chair. If something's wrong, I'll take your side. Shishi explains, you misunderstood, grandma. We were playing a game and the loser had to sleep on the rocking chair. Grandma believes her and tells a servant, send soup to Si-chen at his company. Shishi says, I'll take the soup to him myself. At the office, Assistant Feng informs Si-chen, Shishi brought soup for you and said she would go home with you after you finish work. Si-chen steps outside and finds Shishi sleeping while sitting. As she is about to fall, Si-chen catches her by her face, which startles her awake. Si-chen says, don't come here without a reason. Shishi replies, I came for a reason. Grandma saw me sleeping on the rocking chair, so I had to explain it to her, and she understood. Si-chen asks, was the soup made by Grandma? Shishi says, yes. Si-chen tells her, you should have known that Grandma made that soup for someone who's trying to have a son. Shishi gets embarrassed and quickly leaves. Later, Shishi urgently needs money and goes to the mall with Xiaoya. They visit a purse shop where the shopkeeper admires Shishi's purse and offers her money in exchange. Initially, Shishi refuses, but after Xiaoya persuades her, she agrees to sell the purse, saying, I want to reclaim it after 3 months. At home, Grandma asks Shishi, why aren't you using the purse? Shishi makes up an excuse, and Grandma tells her, my birthday is next week, and I insist you use the purse for the occasion. Shishi becomes worried about how to get the purse back. At Grandma's birthday party, Shu Wei and Si-chen arrive, with Si-chen bringing a gift for Grandma. Everyone eagerly awaits Shishi's gift, which turns out to be vegetables. Si-chen remarks, Shishi's gift is the best. Grandma loves it too. Shu Wei then gives Grandma a purse and says, I saw the same purse Shishi had and bought it for you. Grandma doubts this and asks Shishi, bring the purse. Shishi becomes nervous, and a flashback reveals that Shu Wei saw Shishi selling the purse and later purchased it herself for a large amount. Grandma insists, Shishi, fetch the purse. Just as Shishi is about to explain, Si-chen says, the purse is in the room, we'll bring it now. Then Si-chen asks Shishi, what happened? She tells him everything, explaining, I sold the bag, and when I went to get it back, someone else had already bought it. She adds, I'll go outside and tell Grandma everything honestly. However, Si-chen stops her from telling Grandma the truth. Afterward, Si-chen shows Grandma the fake purse, ensuring she doesn't realize the truth. Even Shu Wei doesn't say anything. Then everyone cuts Grandma's birthday cake, and Shishi says, "Thank you for handling everything so well." In the next scene, Shishi comes to his room and tells Si-chen, "Grandma asked me to make soup for you, so I brought it." Si-chen asks her, "Do you have anything else to say?" She denies it and starts leaving, but Si-chen comes closer and asks, "Are you sure you have nothing to say?" She denies it again. Then he asks, "Where did you go today? Whom did you meet?" She gives him a full report of her day, explaining everything she did. Si-chen then asks, "Did your mom call? What did she say?" Shishi deliberately doesn't tell him about the landlord issue that her mom had but shares everything else. This makes Si-chen angry, and he tells her, "Leave." But he asks her, "Give me some soup." As she comes very close to feed him, he feels uncomfortable and says, "I'll drink it myself." Then she leaves. In the next scene, when Si-chen goes to his room, he sees Shishi falls asleep while reading a book, even though she had told him she would read to him. Si-chen starts staring at her from very close, which wakes her up. Seeing him so close, she gets scared and hits him with the book. Next, Shishi applies a bandage to Si-chen because he got hurt. She apologizes, but he tells her, "You will have to help me and get ready for 2 months." Shishi reluctantly agrees as she has no choice. In the next scene, Shishi gets a call from her ex-boyfriend who invites her to meet outside. Meanwhile, Shu Wei invites Si-chen to the same restaurant. It turns out to be Shu Wei's plan. While Si-chen and Shu Wei are discussing business, Shishi arrives to meet her ex. He apologizes and asks, "Can I have a second chance?" At that moment, Si-chen notices Shishi and listens to their conversation. Someone is taking photos of Shishi and her ex-boyfriend, which is also part of Shu Wei's plan. Si-chen gets furious and is about to leave, but stops when he hears Shishi call her ex shameless. She then starts praising Si-chen a lot, which makes him very happy. Shu Wei's plan fails, and she leaves. In the next scene, Si-chen texts Shishi, "Come home quickly." When she arrives, he tells her, "I want to sleep, so you should read to me." As Shishi reads, Si-chen keeps staring at her and gets closer, saying, "You're my wife. Whom were you meeting at the private restaurant?" Shishi asks him. "Were you following me?" He denies it. Then she asks, "Did you hear my conversation?" Si-chen denies it again, saying, "I have other things to do." Shishi believes him. Then she teases him, "Are you jealous?" Si-chen responds, "Why would I be jealous?" In the next scene, Grandma scolds Shishi and Si-chen asking, "Why do you sleep in separate rooms despite being newly married?" But they ignores it. Later, Shishi gets a message for her ex-boyfriend. She then goes to meet him in heavy rain. He asks her for money, threatening, "If you don't give it, I will make your pictures go viral, which will only harm you." Si-chen receives a call from Xiao Ya, who informs him Shishi is in trouble and needs help. Meanwhile, Shishi tells her ex, "You will have to show me the pictures first." She starts to leave, but her ex gets suspicious and forcibly takes her bag, discovering that she recorded everything. He tries to take the recorder from her, but Shishi grabs it and runs. Her ex chases her. Shishi then trips and falls. He starts throwing stones at her when Si-chen arrives and saves her, but Shishi is very scared, so he hugs her to comfort her. Later, Xavier also arrives and tells Si-chen, "Call the police and have Shishi's ex arrested." The next scene shows Si-chen putting a bandage on Shishi's injury at home. Shishi asks him, "How did you get here?" And he explains everything. She then tells him why she went to meet her ex, saying, "I didn't think he would do such a thing." Si-chen tells her, "Your ex is very bad, but you're not that stupid. You broke up with him at the right time." Shishi asks Si-chen, "Have you ever been in love?" And he denies it. She then gets close to him and says, "I feel like you've never loved anyone before." She begins explaining love in detail. Si-chen grabs her and pulls her close. At that moment, Shishi gets very close to him, but suddenly pulls away and asks, "What are you doing?" Si-chen asks, "Why are you blushing?" She replies, "Am I really blushing? If you don't like someone, you'll blush when you get close to them." She then takes him to a bar and thanks him. She also orders spicy food for him. Shishi drinks a lot, and Si-chen writes something on a page and asks her to sign it. She signs without reading it. Si-chen tells her, "Before you sign anything, you should read it first." It turns out that Si-chen had written, "You would be my wife for 3 months, and for those 3 months you would also work as my maid." Shishi gets very upset about this. The next morning, Si-chen considers waking her up with a kiss, but stops when she wakes up herself. She puts her hand on his mouth and asks, "What are you doing?" He makes an excuse, saying, "I was just taking your phone." Later, Si-chen picks her up in his arms and takes her to have breakfast. Shishi feels very uncomfortable with his behavior, so she leaves. Si-chen smiles as she leaves and tells her, "Your breakfast is on the table." In the next scene, Shishi's favorite artist is having a book signing event. It turns out that the artist is actually Mo Xing, whose stage name is Jackson, but he wears a mask in public. He is looking for Shishi, and when she arrives, she gets his autograph. He tells her, "You can hug me." This makes Shishi very happy. He thinks, I never imagined I'd be able to hug her. Later, Shishi's friend tells her, your ex has uploaded your photos, which makes Shishi very angry. She decides to call a press conference and bring proof of recording the conversation. But during the press conference, she gets so many questions that she starts to get nervous. Just then, Si-Chen arrives and silences everyone, stating, Shishi is my wife, and I love her very much. Whatever happened in the past has nothing to do with our present. He then takes Shishi and leaves. Outside, Si-Chen takes the recorder from Shishi and asks, was this your proof? She admits it, and they struggle over the recorder. Shishi says, it has personal recording, so you should give it to me. Si-Chen turns the recorder on, and when Shishi tries to take it, they end up kissing. He tells her, I will give this to you, but you have to promise me that the contract marriage will be extended for another 3 months. Shishi has no choice but to agree. Later, his assistant tells him, Zishi met Mo Xing again, and she is very close to him. This makes Si-Chen feel jealous. On the other hand, Shishi is happy seeing a picture of herself with her ideal Jackson. Just then, Si-Chen appears and takes the photo from her. He criticizes him, saying, you should only consider your husband as your ideal. Shishi gets very angry and refuses to listen to anything he says. Later, she messages Mo Xing saying, today I met my ideal and took a picture with him. The next day, Shishi and Grandma arrive at Si-Chen's company. Grandma tells Si-Chen, show Shishi around the entire company. Si-Chen takes advantage of this and brings Shishi close to him, showing her around the company. In the next scene, Shishi is waiting for Si-Chen, wondering when he will arrive so she can ask him about expanding business. But as soon as Si-Chen arrives, he ignores her and starts choosing his outfit. Shishi walks over to him, and Si-Chen comes very close to her, asking, what solution do you want? She then asks for advice for her business, and Si-Chen agrees to give her advice. Next, Shishi brings her business plan to Si-Chen, but he doesn't like it at all. He tells her, don't waste your time. You're not capable of this. Shishi replies, the first time, no one knows how or when to do something, and she leaves the room saying I'll revise it myself. Later, Shishi is talking to Mo Xing on the phone. Si-Chen arrives there and asks, who are you talking with? She says, I will meet with my senior Mo Xing to discuss the business plan, and I realize that you're not the only one who's sympathetic. There are others who are warm-hearted too. Si-Chen replies, other people aren't warm-hearted without a reason. Shishi asks, are you jealous? Si-Chen denies it, saying, why would I be jealous? Then he tells her to focus on her reading, but Shishi is very angry at that moment, though she still starts reading. When Si-Chen returns home, he sees that Shishi is playing a game with Grandma. He says to Grandma, just now, I saw a crazy girl in the neighborhood. Actually, at that time, he had already recognized Shishi. In the next scene, Shishi prepares herself to impress Si-Chen by wearing a hot dress. When Si-Chen sees her, he stares at her, and she winks at him, causing him to look away. Then she gave him a massage and apologized him. In the next scene, Shishi goes to Mo Xing, and with his help, she finalizes her business plan. Meanwhile, Si-Chen also prepares a business plan for her. When he arrives home and sees that Shishi is asleep, he covers her with a blanket. Later, Si-Chen checks the iPad and sees Mo Xing's plan on it. The next morning, Si-Chen asks, give me your iPad. He then asks, did Mo Xing help you? Shishi confirms this. Si-Chen then goes to the bathroom to take a shower, but he doesn't give her iPad. Shishi says from outside, give me my iPad back. Si-Chen suddenly opens the door. She enters the bathroom with him. There, she sees that Si-Chen has put her iPad into the bathtub. She is very angry and asks him, why did you do that? Si-Chen says, I'll get you a new iPad. She tries to leave, but Si-Chen's towel gets stuck in her purse. He follows her outside and tells her, tell Mo Xing to make another proposal for you. Shishi goes to seek help from Mo Xing, but Si-Chen stops her and shows her his business plan. Shishi tells him, I'll continue working on my own plan and don't need yours. She thanks him. Just then, she gets a message from Xiaoya and goes to meet him. Xiaoya tells her, Mo Xing invited me to dinner last night, and in a drunken state, I told him about your contract marriage, but I'm not sure about the details. Shishi decides to go meet Mo Xing in person. She asks him, what did Xiaoya say about my contract marriage with Si-Chen? Mo Xing confirms that Xiaoya had mentioned it. Just then, Si-Chen arrives. Seeing him, Shishi asks, what are you doing here? Si-Chen replies, I should be asking you why you're here. Si-Chen then asks Jackson, are you that close to my wife? Mo Xing explains how the two of them knew each other. Si Chen says, "Next time, if you want to meet my wife, let me know in advance." Mo Xing responds, "Xixi can schedule her own plan because she is a free girl." Xixi says, "I am definitely not a free girl. And secondly, I am married, so I don't need any freedom." Now, Si Chen is impressed by Xixi, and to make Mo Xing feel jealous, he tells Xixi to hold his hand. In the next scene, Si Chen calls Xixi and says, "Sit next to me." Xixi refuses, but he insists, "Sit down, I won't bite you." Then he tells her, "You won't have time to read comics or meet Mo Xing anymore." Xixi asks why, so Si Chen gives her many books and says, "Alex has invited us for a vacation, so you have to prepare for it." Xixi is very happy about going on the vacation and also agrees to learn Italian for this. Si Chen tells her, "You went to meet Mo Xing without my permission." So Xixi reluctantly agrees to listen to him. Then Xixi requests, "Please reduce my dance lessons." But Si Chen refuses, saying, "I won't do that." After this, he is teaching Xixi the Italian language, but Xixi is not able to understand anything. So Si Chen shows her a stick. Seeing this, Xixi starts studying quickly. Just then, Grandma arrives there. So Xixi runs to Grandma in fear. Later, Xixi gets a call from Mo Xing and decides to meet him. Mo Xing tells her, "Xiaoya shared everything with me that day, including details about your contract marriage." In the same restaurant, Si Chen and Xu Wei are also present. Mo Xing changes the topic and tells her, "Your proposal has passed in the company, and I'm ready to invest in your business." Then, Xu Wei notices Xixi and Mo Xing and tells Si Chen, "What is Xixi doing here?" Xixi is speaking badly about Si Chen in front of Mo Xing when Si Chen arrives. Upon seeing him, Xixi gets scared. Mo Xing tells Si Chen, "I found out about your contract marriage." Si Chen asks Xixi, "Did you tell him?" She denies it. Mo Xing then asks Si Chen, "Are you confident in Xixi's love?" Si Chen replies, "Our love can never be a thing," and then takes Xixi and leaves. Si Chen tells Xixi, "You found someone for yourself before the contract was even terminated." Xixi explains, "It's not true. Xiaoya mistakenly told Mo Xing about the contract." Si Chen tells her, "Come to the company and practice dance." At the company, he tells her, "Your dance teacher is Xu Wei." Later, an assistant brings a gown and high heels for Xixi. Xixi goes to change into the dress, but the zipper doesn't close, so she calls Si Chen for help. Si Chen helps her close the zipper, getting very close to her. Xu Wei dances with Si Chen and tells him, "You need to practice dancing like this with assistant Fiang." Si Chen gets jealous seeing them dance together. Then, when Xixi slips, Si Chen catches her. Later, Xixi asks Grandma, "Do you know Italian?" Grandma says, "Yes, a little." Xixi shows her a picture of an animal and asks, "What is this called in Italian?" Grandma playfully says, "I love you," in Italian. When Si Chen arrives, Xixi says, "I love you," in Italian, thinking it's the animal's name. Si Chen, smiling, comes close to her and says, "I have never seen anyone confess their love like this in my life." Now, as he starts to leave, Xixi asks, "Who confessed their love to you?" Later, she searches on her phone and finds out that Grandma had played a prank on her. In the next scene, Si Chen brings Xixi for dance practice. The instructor is teaching Xixi how to dance, but Xixi does not dance properly at all. Then the instructor asks Si Chen to dance with her, and Xixi learns that Si Chen is actually an expert at dancing. Later, Si Chen has to leave for work. Next, Si Chen tells Xixi, Xu Wei has invited him to a party. He tells her, designers will also attend the party, so she gets excited and agrees to go. She thanks him and hugs him. Si Chen tells her, "If your hug is done, step back." Xixi replies, "I wasn't hugging you, I was taking your measurements to fit a suit for you." In the next scene, when Si Chen comes home, Xixi takes him to the room and asks, "Take off your clothes." Si Chen starts to remove his coat and shirt, but Xixi says, "I only asked you to remove your coat." Then she takes his measurements. When Si Chen thanks her for making the suit, they both fall on the bed. As Xixi falls on Si Chen, she apologizes and gets up. Then she tells him, "I only need to measure your waist now." While measuring, Si Chen smiles while looking at her. But as soon as Xixi notices, he changes his expression. Later, they both go to the party, where they meet Xu Wei. In the next scene, Xu Wei announces, "I am so happy that everyone came to my opening ceremony." She adds, "Si Chen helped me the most in opening this studio." Then she asks him to come on stage and say a few words. On stage, Si Chen first praises the studio and then says, "This suit I'm wearing was designed by my wife, Xixi," and also praises her brand. Hearing this, Xu Wei feels jealous. Later, Xu Wei invites Xixi to come on stage. Xixi gives a great speech, and Si Chen is impressed. She thanks him for his support. In the next scene, they arrive in Italy. There, Shishi calls Si-chen darling, leaving Fei-yang visibly shocked. When they reach the hotel, Si-chen tells her, "Wherever you go, inform me." Then he says, "Now you're free," to which Shishi claps happily like a child. Later, Shishi comes to tell Si-chen, "I am leaving for the fashion show," but he is taking a shower, so she leaves a note. When Shishi steps out, her phone battery dies. Meanwhile, Si-chen is trying to call her because he has a meeting with Alex. After reading the note, he messages Fei-yang telling him, "I need to go find Shishi, so you go to Alex." Si-chen finds Shishi after searching for her. She is very scared and starts running. While running, she almost collides with a tree, but Si-chen saves her. Si-chen scolds her a lot, but Shishi feels relaxed knowing he is there. In the car, she apologizes to him. Si-chen says, "You have no idea how worried I was about you." Shishi asks, "Do you really care about me?" Si-chen changes the topic. Then Shishi notices a wound on Si-chen's hand and puts a bandage on it. In the next scene, Shishi is about to sleep when she receives a message from Si-chen, which she ignores and goes to bed. However, Si-chen keeps messaging her, so she reluctantly goes to him. Si-chen asks her to apply medicine to his wound. She gets annoyed but does it. While talking to her, Si-chen notices that Shishi is so sleepy she falls asleep while applying the medicine. Si-chen lets her sleep beside him and holds her hand, watching her. Then he confesses his love to her, but Shishi is asleep. The next morning, when Shishi wakes up, she sees Si-chen sleeping beside her. She asks him, "Why are you here?" He replies, "You are the one sleeping in my room." Then he moves closer to her and asks, "Are you scared?" She replies, "No." He quickly asks her to get ready. In the next scene, Shishi and Si-chen are with Alex, and Alex's assistant informs them, "Your new design is missing." Shishi says, "I can help you," and redraws a similar design, which impresses both Alex and Si-chen. Later, they have dinner, and Alex praises Shishi and Si-chen a lot. Later, Shishi wants a teddy bear from a toy machine, but she can't get it. Si-chen notices that the couple next to them wins a teddy bear by kissing. Seeing this, he kisses Shishi, and she wins the teddy bear. He gives it to her and jokingly says, "If you lose this, you'll be fined." In the next scene, Si-chen meets Alex, who wants to put Shishi in charge of managing his brand. Alex says Shishi can run this brand well. Si-chen, though reluctant, has no choice but to thank Alex. He had actually wanted to keep Shishi away from Alex and finish the contract as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Shishi looks at a picture of herself and Si-chen, compliments him, and says, "He's so handsome." Later, Si-chen gets a fever and falls asleep. Later, there's a knock at the door, and Shishi comes in. When she learns about his fever, she says, "I'll get some medicine," but Si-chen stops her. Shishi had brought a cake for him because it was his birthday. Si-chen asks, "How did you remember my birthday?" Shishi replies, "You're the one who told me to remember all your information, so I also remembered your birthday." Si-chen asks her to sing a birthday song for him, and she does. After cutting the cake, Si-chen makes a wish for Shishi to always stay with him. When she asks what you wished for, he doesn't tell her. Shishi also wants to eat the cake, but Si-chen doesn't let her. Instead, he feeds her a piece after kissing her, which makes Shishi blush, and she leaves. Later, they return to China. In the next scene, Shishi tells Si-chen about her dream of opening a store. She says, "It is my childhood dream and I will do my best for it." Si-chen doesn't tell her about Alex's offer because he doesn't want to ruin her dream. In the next scene, Shishi sees Alex's proposal on Si-chen's laptop and tells Xiaoya about it. Si-chen overhears and says, "From now on, you won't read comics anymore." Shishi asks, "Why?" Then Si-chen takes her to a candlelight dinner. There, he asks her about the opening date for her store. She tells him all the details, but he asks her to postpone it. When she asks why, he says, "There's just some problems, so please postpone the date. I will help you open your store later." Shishi asks, "Have you already decided to give up on my dream?" She adds, "I accidentally read you emails." Si-chen asks her for some time, but Shishi says, "No matter what happens, I will open my store." In the next scene, Shishi learns that the landlord has refused to give her the space for her store. She tells Mo-sing, who helps her find a new place, making her very happy. Mo-sing tells her, "If you face any more problems, let me know." When Shu-wei learns about Shishi's store, she asks her friend to post news about it on social media. In the next scene, Si-chen sees the news, which says, Shishi rejected Alex's offer and opened her own store. Si-chen is confused about who leaked this information, as it was supposed to be a secret. Si-chen then asks Shishi, "Why did you make the news go viral?" Shishi says, "I didn't do it." Meanwhile, she adds, "You are the one who told the landlord not to rent me the space." This leads to a lot of misunderstandings between them. Despite everything, Shishi insists, "I didn't spread the news." But Si-chen tells her, "You have become so independent now that you rejected Alex's proposal. You can open your store on your own." Saying this, he leaves. In the next scene, Shishi and Xiaoya open the new store. Later, Si-chen tells Fiang on call, "I will make Shishi to apologize to Alex. I will take her to dinner and give her an expensive gift, and she will agree." Shishi overhears this and, in anger, leaves from there. Later, Shishi meets Si-chen and behaves very rudely toward him. She asks, "What did you bring for me?" He hands her a box. She tells him, "I overheard your conversation with Fiang." Si-chen says, "You misunderstood." But Shishi replies, "I'm thankful for everything you've done for me so far." She promises him, "I will close the store for a short while today and will fulfill your request, but only as long as our contract lasts." Then, Si-chen goes to Alex and asks him to come with him. He shows Alex Shishi's store and explains, "This is why she didn't work with you. It's her dream, and I will stand by her to fulfill her dream." In the next scene, Shishi opens the gift Si-chen gave her. Inside is a coin that she had once thrown into a fountain, along with a note saying, "Because of this coin, people started thinking I was a thief." Shishi realizes that Si-chen got a cold while searching for that coin and becomes very emotional. Later, she goes to meet Alex, apologizes for canceling his proposal, and says, "Si-chen suffered a lot because of me. I'm ready to give up my dream and work with you." But Alex reveals, "Si-chen had told him about your store and cared for you so much." Shishi thanks him for everything. In the next scene, Si-chen thanks Shishi for convincing Alex. In that moment, they kiss, and Shishi blushes and runs away. Later, Shishi falls asleep while working, and Si-chen smiles while looking at her. In another scene, Shishi is shooting with Mo Xing for her brand when Si-chen arrives with some items. He asks, "Why is Mo Xing here?" She explains, "The model I hired didn't show up, so we had Mo Xing do the modeling." To outdo Mo Xing, Si-chen teams up with Shishi to show that he can be model too. Their photo shoot begins, but Si-chen doesn't perform as well as Mo Xing. When Shishi gets close to Mo Xing, Si-chen drags her away, and they bicker a little. In the next scene, Shishi is very tired. Si-chen brings her money and says, "This is for the dress that ruined because of me." Before giving it to her, he asks, "Who performed better today?" Shishi names Mo Xing and gives Si-chen 1 point less, making him jealous. Annoyed, Si-chen refuses to give her the money, but Shishi snatches it and runs away. Si-chen stops her, gets close to her, and asks, "Now tell me, who's first, me or him?" Just then, a maid arrives and tells her, "Si-chen prepared milk for you," and leaves. Shishi says, "If you ordered milk for me, I'll give you another point." Si-chen then asks her, "Should I teach you how to become my good wife?" Shishi replies, "There's no need for that." In the next scene, Shishi asks Grandma what Si-chen likes to eat. Grandma tells her all his favorite dishes and also what he dislikes. Later, Shishi visits Si-chen's office, surprising him. He asks, "What are you doing here?" She says, "I brought lunch for you." When everyone starts to leave, Shishi stops them and serves lunch. She brings the dishes that Si-chen doesn't like. In front of everyone, she starts feeding him with her own hands. Si-chen doesn't want to eat but does so because of the people watching. After lunch, Shishi leaves. After returning home, he tells Shishi, "The food you made was very tasty." Then he says, "Today, you did well, and it seems to all the employees that our marriage is going smoothly." He adds, "Now you should prepare good food for me every day. I'll wait for it tomorrow as well." In the next scene, Shishi brings food to the office. She tells him, "We need to show our employees that we have a happy married life." He holds Shishi's hand and walks outside, with Shishi moving closer to him. The employees smile while watching them. Shishi starts feeding Si-chen with her hands, and he feeds her back. She then says, "I don't want to eat anything else." Si-chen eats the food she was offering, making Shishi feel uncomfortable. She looks at him angrily and leaves. When they return home, Si-chen gives her advice for her store, and she realizes how she can attract more customers. Later, his Shang informs Si-chen about a party and arranges dresses for Zishi and Ziwei. However, a mistake occurs, and Zishi ends up wearing Shiwei's dress. At the party, Shishi arrives, and because everyone is wearing masks, Si-chen assumes she is Shiwei. He takes Zishi with him, believing she is Shiwei, and tells her, "I know you like me, but I love someone else. It's better if we keep our distance." Shishi leaves immediately and cries in frustration. She messages Si-chen saying, "Today's party felt like a surprise for me, and I will not create any trouble for you in the future." Si-chin is confused by her message. In the next scene, Shang reveals to Si-chin, the person you thought was Shi-wei at the party was actually Shi-shi. Si-chin tries call Shi-shi, but she doesn't answer. He goes to her shop and asks, "Are you okay? Why aren't you answering my calls?" Shi-shi replies, "I didn't see my phone." Si-chin tells her to always respond to his calls and messages in the future. While explaining the misunderstanding from the party, he notices Jackson is also there. Si-chin asks, "What are you doing here?" Jackson responds, "I came to help Shi-shi." When Shi-shi begins to leave, Si-chin tries to stop her, but Shi-shi says, "I am busy," and she leaves with Jackson. In the next scene, Si-chin receives a message from his grandmother saying, Shi-shi has come home. He returns and finds Shi-shi asleep. He gently moves her hair aside and looks at her. In the following scene, his grandmother is wearing an outfit from Shi-shi's brand, making Shi-shi very happy. Later, Xavier tells Shi-shi, "During an interview, Si-chin praised your brand a lot." At the same time, Shi-shi reads his message explaining the misunderstanding from the party. Just then, Si-chin arrives and Shi-shi hugs him saying, "I've read your messages." Si-chin says, "Will you go on a date with me?" And Shi-shi replies, "Yes." While Si-chin is at the office, he receives a message from Xavier saying, Shi-shi's family is in trouble. He immediately goes to drop Shi-shi and her mom home. Shi-shi's mom says, "Why don't you stay here tonight?" But Shi-shi hesitates, saying, "Our house is too small." However, Si-chin says, "I'll stay." He and Shi-shi end up sleeping in the same room. Shi-shi gives him her clothes to wear, and upon seeing him in them, she laughs a lot and says, "You look so funny." She takes pictures, and Si-chin says, "Give me your phone. I'm deleting those." He tries to grab her phone, which brings him close to Shi-shi. He says, "Give me a kiss," and Shi-shi closes her eyes. Just then, her mom enters the room to set the bedding, leaving both of them feeling awkward. Then Si-chin finds many love letters from Shi-shi that she had carefully kept. He says to Shi-shi, "Read them out loud to me." Shi-shi firmly refuses. So, he says, "Then why don't we complete our unfinished work?" Shi-shi begins reading the letters but falls asleep while doing so. Si-chin kisses her on the forehead. The next morning, when both of them come out of the house, Shi-shi's mom arrives. He says, "I've already found a place for a new laundry shop." Shi-shi feels jealous because her mom keeps siding with Si-chin. To change the mood, Shi-shi says, "Let's go shopping," and Si-chin agrees to accompany her. They both go to the market and seem to enjoy themselves a lot. Later, the three of them have a meal together, and Shi-shi feeds Si-chin with her hands. Afterward, Si-chin is sitting outside alone when Shi-shi comes to him and asks, "What are you thinking?" He replies, "I'm wondering how we became a real couple. I never sat and ate with my mom and dad because I had to follow so many rules." Shi-shi says, "Thank you. You did a lot for me today." She then rests her head on his shoulder and falls asleep. In the next scene, Shi-shi is looking for her diary, and Si-chin helps her. During the search, he finds Shi-shi's childhood photos. Shi-shi says, "Give them back to me," and tries to take them from him. In another scene, Shi-shi comes to see Si-chin off. Si-chin says, "I feel like you are not playing the role of a good wife." Shi-shi asks, "What more should I do?" Si-chin points to a couple kissing and says, "You should do that." Shi-shi replies, "I will never do such things, but I can fix your tie." By mistake, while fixing his tie, Shi-shi ends up kissing him. After Si-chin leaves, Shi-shi feels very shy. In the next scene, Si-chin takes Shi-shi to an amusement park. He gives her a box and says, "Open it." Shi-shi says, "I've already opened it and seen it." Si-chin says, "You have two options. Either save the coin or insert it into the slot to start the wheel." Shi-shi chooses to put the coin into the slot, and the ride begins. Si-chin says, "I love you." Shi-shi is shocked and says, "I need some time to think." Si-chin agrees. In the next scene, Shi-shi finds a note written by Si-chin. The next day is Shi-shi's birthday, and Si-chin invites her to meet him at a place and says, "I want an answer to my question." Meanwhile, Shi-shi receives a call from Mo-shing and goes to meet him. Mo-shing gives her a drawing book and says, "I love you." He reveals, "I am your favorite comic artist." Mo-shing says, "I am waiting for your contract with Si-chin to end," and gives her a card saying, "I will wait for you on your birthday." Mo-shing also informs Si-chin about his feelings. Now both Si-chin and Mo-shing prepare for dinner, but Shi-shi gets stuck in traffic. She rushes to meet Si-chin, who is waiting for her. However, when Si-chin sees the door open, he finds Shu-wei instead of Shi-shi. On the other hand, Shi-shi reaches Mo-shing, who says, "I'm surprised to see you." Meanwhile, Shu-wei says to Si-chin, "I love you, and Shi-shi ruined my life." Si-chin replies, "I only consider you a friend, but I love Shi-shi." At Mo-shing's place, Shi-shi sees that he has arranged many gifts for her. Mo-shing says, I love you, but Shishi feels terrible and says, I'm sorry. I only see you as a friend and love Si-chen. Si-chen discovers Shu Wei's trick and says, leave. She cries and leaves the place. Shishi, on the other hand, tries to go to Si-chen but gets stuck in traffic again. She calls Si-chen and says, I'm on my way. Then she gets out of the car, walking to the location in the rain. Upon reaching there, she finds out that the restaurant has closed, and Si-chen had waited for her for a long time, but she couldn't make it on time. Now, feeling sad, Shishi begins to leave when a bright light shines on her face. She sees Si-chen standing there and immediately kisses him. Then Si-chen says, let's cut the cake. Shishi makes a wish, and Si-chen sings, happy birthday to you. Later, there are fireworks. Shishi says, I love you, and Si-chen replies, I already knew you liked me. Afterward, they enjoy themselves a lot. In the next scene, Shu Wei comes to Shishi's store. When she sees Si-chen and Shishi happy together, she gets upset. Then she tells Shishi, sorry, I did a lot of wrong things to you. I won't do anything like this again from today. Shishi forgives her. After that, Shu Wei leaves. After this, Si-chen receives a call from his assistant who says, there is a meeting you need to attend today. But Si-chen says, cancel the meeting. However, Shishi takes the phone from his hand and says, don't cancel the meeting. Si-chen will come on time. Si-chen didn't want to leave Shishi, but he goes because of her insistence. In the next scene, Si-chen is waiting for Shishi at a restaurant, feeling very nervous. When Shishi arrives, he gives her a bouquet. Si-chen notices a couple feeding each other and feeds Shishi as well. Then he points to the couple, but Shishi says, whatever you're thinking, I'm not going to do anything like that. Later, Shishi says, let's watch a horror movie. Although Shishi is already scared of horror movies when the movie starts, Si-chen becomes more scared than her. He hugs Shishi tightly and doesn't let go of her, which makes Shishi smile. Later, in the room, Shishi asks, are you still scared? He replies, yes. Shishi kisses him and asks again, are you still scared? Si-chen kisses her in return. Then a romantic scene is shown between them. The next morning, when they wake up, Shishi says, I had a very nice dream last night. Si-chen replies, that wasn't a dream, it was reality. They plan to go on a date, and during the date, they enjoy spending time together. After returning home, Shishi catches a cold and fever. Si-chen says, you are not going to the store. You need to rest. He brings her medicine, but Shishi says, I'm not taking it. It's too bitter. Si-chen takes the medicine in his mouth and makes her drink it. He tells her, I need to go to the office. But Shishi says, stay with me. Si-chen agrees and starts working from home while taking care of her. While Si-chen is working, he falls asleep near her, and Shishi begins drawing his picture. In the next scene, Shishi and Xiaoya open a store together. Si-chen and Mo Xing are also present, welcoming customers. Both of them are selling clothes to customers. Mo Xing behaves nicely with customers, but Si-chen talks rudely with them. Shishi announces the results, saying, Mo Xing sold more outfits while Si-chen sold very few. Si-chen says, just wait until tomorrow and see what I do. That night, while working, Shishi brings him snacks and asks, do you feel jealous? He denies it and says, just wait for tomorrow. The next morning, Si-chen deals with customers very well, while Mo Xing is busy on his phone. Later, when Shishi announces the results, Si-chen wins by selling more outfits. Hearing this, Si-chen says, I'm so happy. It is also revealed that Si-chen won because of Shishi's help. Then everyone goes out for dinner. Si-chen says, thank you, Mo Xing, for helping my wife so much. Later, Shishi says, thank you for supporting me so much. She gives him a heart as a token of appreciation. She says, as a reward, I'm making you a shareholder in my business. Then Si-chen kisses her and Mo Xing sees them kissing, which makes Mo Xing feel very sad. In the next scene, Mo Xing takes Shishi to an art exhibition. There, Shu Wei sees them together. After this, she tells Si-chen, today, I saw Shishi at the exhibition with Mo Xing. Hearing this, Si-chen feels very jealous. Afterward, he takes Shishi to an amusement park and tells her, this is better than the exhibition. Shishi then asks, are you feeling jealous? Si-chen replies, not at all. Then they both sit on a ride and enjoy it a lot. Later, he takes her to a very beautiful natural spot, which relieves her stress and depression. She says, I am very happy to be with you. I even have new ideas for my painting now. Thank you so much. Si-chen comes closer to her, kisses her, and says, I really enjoy taking care of you. In the next scene, Si-chen's assistant tells Shu Wei, Si-chen is organizing a party for Shishi, which makes her very jealous. Then she makes a plan to trap Shishi. On the day of the party, she plans to reveal Shishi's personal diary in front of everyone. At the party, Shishi is with Si-chen, and Mo Xing is also present. Mo Xing says to Shishi, you look very pretty, which makes Si-chen jealous. He says to Shishi, come with me. Shu Wei displays Xishi's diary on the screen, where it is written, "I want to be rich." Everyone starts thinking badly of Xishi and gossiping about her. Si Chen says, "Turn off the screen." Someone places a hand on Xishi's shoulder, scaring her. When she looks, it's Si Chen. He says, "Don't worry, I am with you." Si Chen takes Xishi to the stage and says to everyone, "She is not a liar. She is my wife, and I will protect her." In front of everyone, he says to Xishi, "I love you," and kisses her. Shu Wei becomes extremely jealous. The media photographers come forward to take pictures of Xishi and Si Chen. They ask Xishi questions, but Si Chen says, "I will reveal the truth to everyone," before leaving. In the next scene, Si Chen's friend Shang visits him and says, "My girlfriend Ruo Na has a fear of marriage." Si Chen suggests, "Discuss it with her." Meanwhile, his girlfriend Ruo Na talks to Xishi about it, and Xishi says, "Let me handle everything at my level. I will fix everything." This gives Xishi an idea. When Xishi returns home, Shang says to her, "I don't think there is a future for me and Ruo Na." Xishi says, "I disagree. You two can be a perfect couple." She shares her plan with him. Next, Xishi takes Ruo Na to a place and says, "You might not like my plan and might even get angry." Ruo Na replies, "If it solves my problem, why would I get angry?" Xishi sends her into a room where a wedding dress is kept. Just then, Shang arrives. Seeing him, Ruo Na asks, "What are you doing here?" Shang replies, "I need to talk to you." Meanwhile, Si Chen listens to their conversation live on his phone. Xishi notices and says, "This is wrong." Si Chen asks, "Do you also want to watch this video with me?" She becomes happy and starts watching the video with him. In the room, Shang talks rudely to Ruo Na. Xishi says, "Why is he talking like this? I told him to say something else." Si Chen says, "This was my idea." Ruo Na, angry, begins to leave. Xishi says, "I hope my plan doesn't fail because of you, and I don't lose my friendship with Ruo Na." However, Ruo Na returns and kisses Shang, making up with him. Even then, Ruo Na is not agreeing to marriage. Shang replies, "I accept this," and hugs her. On the other side, Xishi and Si Chen are very happy that everything is now fine between them. Si Chen says, "I want a reward." Xishi replies, "Your reward is to clean this place with me." They both start cleaning. Later, while talking, Si Chen says, "Our marriage didn't happen properly." Xishi replies, "Yes, I had to marry you by force." Si Chen plays a song for her, and they both start dancing. Afterward, Si Chen proposes to her again for marriage, and Xishi says, "Yes." Just then, Si Chen gets a call from his mom who says, "I am coming back to China." Both Si Chen and Xishi are shocked. The next morning, Si Chen and Grandma are having breakfast, but Xishi hasn't come yet. Si Chen goes to call her and hears Xishi saying, "I am getting fat." Si Chen consoles her and convinces her to come and have breakfast with him. She joins them for breakfast. Grandma says, "You should have a baby," which makes Xishi blush and change the subject. Then Si Chen slowly says to her, "Let's have a baby." Grandma leaves from there, but Xishi was feeling very nervous due to Si Chen's words, so she leaves from there. Later, Si Chen takes her to a restaurant and says, "Eat whatever you like. You should behave and live like a normal person. You're already cute." Hearing this, Xishi becomes emotional and realizes how much Si Chen loves her. In the next scene, Si Chen's mom arrives. Si Chen asks, "Why didn't you inform me earlier about your arrival? Why didn't Dad come with you?" His mom replies, "Your dad couldn't come because of work." Si Chen says, "It was my mistake to marry without telling you. It was urgent at the time, but I am very happy with this marriage." Si Chen sits to dinner with his mom and says, "All the dishes were made by Xishi." His mom likes the dishes. Then Xishi tells her, "I have a store which I run with my friend." Afterward, Xishi serves something to Si Chen to eat, but his mom says, "You don't even know what he likes and dislikes. How can you be so careless?" Si Chen says, "Because of her, I even started eating things I didn't like before." Grandma says, "Xishi is very understanding and takes great care of Si Chen." Later, Xishi is sitting sadly when Si Chen comes to her. Xishi says, "I want to become even better in front of your mom." Si Chen says, "She will accept you after some time." He talks about going on a date the next day, and Xishi says, "Okay." Then Si Chen again says, "Let's have a baby." Hearing this, she feels nervous and walks away. In the next scene, Xishi takes her mother-in-law to her store and says, "This dress is a gift for you. I designed it for you." The mom says, "I like the dress very much," and is impressed with Xishi. In the following scene, Xishi reaches the place for their date and waits for Si Chen. Si Chen is at the office with his mom but says, "I need to leave for the restaurant now," and informs her. However, by the time he arrives, the restaurant is closed. He starts searching for Shishi but doesn't find her anywhere. Then Shishi calls out, "Si-chen!" Seeing her, Si-chen hugs her. Now we see a flashback in which Si-chen's mom says to him, "Shishi is a very good girl. I have accepted her as my daughter-in-law." In the next scene, the whole family comes together for shopping, from where Si-chen had become very tired after carrying their bags. Then, Shishi, seeing the opportunity, is about to kiss him, but just then, Si-chen's mom comes there and sees them. After this, Shishi kisses him from behind. In the next scene, Shishi says, "I want to study." Si-chen agrees, but then she tells him, "I will have to leave town to study for 3 months." Si-chen says, "I cannot stay without you for such a long time." Eventually, Shishi convinces him, and Si-chen says, "When will you leave? I will see you off." Later, Shishi is looking for her ID card, and we see that Si-chen has taken it and hidden it behind his pillow. When Shishi is searching under the pillow, Si-chen complains, "I have a headache," and calls her over to him. Shishi comes closer and massages his head, kissing him in the process, and uses the opportunity to take the ID card. She then says, "I already knew that you had hidden it." Next, we see Si-chen helping Shishi pack her belongings. He gives her a picture of both of them together to keep with her so that she doesn't miss him. Si-chen says, "I'm worried that you might forget me after leaving." He packs separate clothes for her as well. Shishi rewards Si-chen for helping her with packing. The next day, when Si-chen wakes up, Shishi is not there. There is a note on the table saying, "I have already left." Si-chen finds it hard to focus on anything without Shishi. When he talks to Fei-yang suggests, "If you miss her so much, you should go to her." He even arranges a flight for him. Si-chen goes to meet the principal of the school where Shishi will be studying. He talks about making a donation, and the principal invites him to join as a lecturer. He agrees, but requests, "Please keep my identity secret." Si-chen creates an ID under the name Mr. Korzoro, and messages Shishi saying, "I am your tutor." Shishi messages Si-chen, apologizing for not being able to inform him in the morning. She asks, "Are you upset with me?" Si-chen replies, "Why would I be upset with you?" When she asks if he misses her, he replies, "A little bit." In the next scene, Shishi experiences stomach pain while talking to Mo-shing on the call and she faints. Mo-shing becomes concerned for her. In the following scene, Mo-shing brings Shishi to the hospital. The doctor says, "It's nothing serious. It happened due to excessive stress." Mo-shing has to leave for some work, but Si-chen learns about Shishi's condition and rushes to the hospital. Seeing her like that, he becomes worried and kisses her on the forehead. The next morning, when Shishi wakes up, she finds herself in the hospital with her favorite breakfast beside her. Just then, Mo-shing arrives and she asks him, "Did you bring me to the hospital?" He says yes. She thanks him for the breakfast, but Mo-shing clarifies, "I didn't arrange it. Actually, breakfast was sent by Si-chen." Shishi assumes that the hospital staff provided it. In the next scene, Mo-shing finds out that Si-chen is also at the hospital. He invites Shishi to dinner. Si-chen is also seeing them. Then they go out for dinner. Just then, Shishi receives a message from Mr. Zoro, so she leaves. Meanwhile, Si-chen makes a worker wear his suit and pretend to be Mr. Zoro. When Shishi sees him, she recognizes that the suit is Si-chen's. In the next scene, Si-chen receives a call from her. She says, "I'm in trouble." He rushes to her building, but the security guard tries to stop him. Si-chen reaches Shishi, who is casually drinking, and greets him by saying, "Hello, Mr. Zoro." After that, she tells him, "I want to move forward in life and do something for myself. You have to leave." But he replies, "I can't stay without you for 3 months." In the next scene, we see Shishi and Si-chen go out somewhere. Si-chen tells her, "I will always support you." He gives her a ticket to go home and says, "We will stay here until you finish your studies, and then we'll return home together." Hearing this, Shishi becomes happy and hugs him. Now we see Si-chen and Shishi return home. They are kissing each other, thinking everyone might be asleep. But suddenly the lights turn on. It's a surprise welcome party organized by Grandma and Mom. Shishi feels very embarrassed, but Grandma and Mom assure her, "We won't disturb you two. We'll hold the welcome party tomorrow. You both can go rest now." Later, Shishi is unpacking clothes from her suitcase, but Si-chen wants to sleep with her. Shishi tells him, "Go do some work," but instead he starts kissing her. She says, "I didn't ask you to do that." He then helps her unpack the suitcase and discovers that Shishi is planning to expand her brand and cooperate with him in business. Hearing this, Si-chen becomes very happy and picks up Shishi to take her to the bedroom to sleep. In the next scene, Shishi is at her shop when Si-chen calls her to his office. Fang informs her that Si-chen has asked the workers to complete 3 months' worth of work in a single day. Shishi feels very bad about this. Si-chen, on the other hand, isn't doing any work. He's just staring at Shishi. He then starts kissing her, but Shishi tells him, "Have some shame, we're in the office." Still, Si-chen kisses her, and the workers seeing this start smiling. Next, the two are having dinner with the family, and Si-chen informs them Shishi is planning to expand her brand and will also collaborate in my business. He invites Grandma and Mom to the opening event. Grandma becomes very happy, but Mom feels a bit uneasy and disagrees. She says Shishi is very talented and should go to a bigger platform. Si-chen replies, Shishi initially decided the same, but Shishi adds, "I only want to work with Si-chen." Grandma also tries to explain things to Mom, who then gets up and leaves. However, seeing Shishi and Si-chen together, she starts smiling. In the next scene, Fang informs Si-chen it was Shu Wei who caused the incident at the party. Shu Wei later comes to Si-chen's office, and he shows her the video from the party. Shu Wei admits, "I did everything," and says, "I wanted to expose Shishi's true nature in front of everyone." Si-chen replies, "She is not a liar. She is my wife, and you shouldn't have done that to her." After this, Shu Wei finds a paper on Si-chen's table, from which she learns that it is a contract marriage. She calls her reporter friend and asks her to make this news viral. In the next scene, Si-chen goes to Shishi's store and invites her for lunch. He starts kissing her, but when they are about to leave, several reporters show up and start asking questions about their contract marriage. Si-chen and Shishi are confused and don't know what to do. Just then, Shang and Ruo-na arrive and try to divert the reporters' attention. However, the reporters continue chasing Si-chen and Shishi. Now everyone is wondering how the media got this news. Shang says, "I didn't know about this either." Ruo-na asks Si-chen, "Do you have any idea who could have leaked the news to the media?" Si-chen replies, "It might have been Shu Wei," and adds, "She also caused the trouble at the party." Shishi says, "We need to find a solution to this problem." Si-chen mentions, "I have already sent an apology email to Alex." Shishi suggests, "We should go to the media, tell the truth, and apologize to everyone." She says, "No matter what happens, I will stand by you." Just then, Feiyang calls Si-chen and informs him, "The shareholders have called for an urgent meeting, and you must come to the office immediately." As Si-chen is about to leave, Shang asks, "Where are you going?" Si-chen returns, kisses Shishi, and everyone covers their faces. Before the meeting, Si-chen tells Feiyang to take care of Shishi, saying, "I am very worried about her." Feiyang assures him, "I will look after her." In the office, Si-chen informs the shareholders, "I have sent all the information to Alex." The shareholders give him 15 days, saying, if everything isn't resolved within that time, it will create significant trouble for him. In the next scene, Si-chen is taking Shishi somewhere. Shishi asks, "Where are we going?" But he doesn't tell her and says, "The end of the world." He takes Shishi to a very beautiful place and tells her, "When I used to fight with my mom as a child, I would come here. Even now, whenever I face a problem in life, I come here." Shishi asks him, "Are you with me?" To which Si-chen replies, "This problem is very big and I might not be able to get out of it." Shishi responds, "If that happens, we still have my brand. Together, we'll figure something out." Hearing this, Si-chen kisses Shishi and says, "Nothing will happen to me. All I need is you. I will fix everything." In the next scene, Shishi and Si-chen are going to work. When they arrive at the store, they see that someone has put up posters of them with "Payback Money" written on them. Si-chen tells Ishi, "Look, they've put such a nice picture of us." Then they start taking down the posters. Shishi tells him, "You go to the office and I will handle everything here." He kisses her and leaves. In the next scene, Shishi is closing the store when a stranger attacks her. At the same time, Si-chen and Feiyang arrive there. Si-chen hugs Shishi, who is very scared. She says, "I thought I could handle everything." Si-chen tells her, "Don't ever think that. I will always be with you." Shishi kisses Si-chen. In the next scene, Shishi wakes up and sees that Si-chen is not there. Si-chen is working, so Shishi brings him refreshments. Then Si-chen tells him, "Mr. Shin's birthday is coming, and I will have to go to the birthday party, because he can help us." In the next scene, at the party, Si-chen arrives, and Shishi is already there waiting for him. She asks him, "Will you go to the birthday party?" Si-chen agrees. Both of them talk to Mr. Shin, but he doesn't listen to them. Mrs. Shin, who is Xiaxi's friend, introduces Mr. Shin to Si-chen and Xiaxi. Mr. Shin agrees to have a meeting with Si-chen. Later, Xiaxi waits for Si-chen's meeting to end with Mr. Shin. When Si-chen arrives, Shishi asks, "What did Mr. Shin say?" He replies, "Mr. Shin refused to help." Shishi hugs him and says, "It's okay, I will convince him." Si-chen picks her up happily and reveals that Mr. Shin has agreed. As a reward, he kisses her. In the next scene, Si-chin is going to Italy, and Shi asks to go with him. Now both of them arrive in Italy. They find out that Alex is attending a cocktail party that day. They also go to the party. They see Alex and try to approach him, but guards ask them for an invitation card. Shi tells Si-chin, "I'll handle this. You talk to Alex." He goes to meet Alex and security guards send Shi out. Then she notices a restaurant outside, where she and Si-chin had visited before. They had written letters in a time capsule there. Shi asks the shopkeeper for Si-chin's letter, thinking, Si-chin definitely had written something bad about me, but when she reads it, she is shocked. Meanwhile, Si-chin talks to Alex about their contract marriage, but Alex doesn't listen. Outside, Si-chin sees Shi. In the time capsule, Si-chin had confessed his love and care for Shi. Si-chin comes to Shi, and she hugs him emotionally and says, "I love you." He kisses her. In the next scene, Si-chin and Shi return home. The next scene shows the day of the meeting. Si-chin arrives with Shi and admits during the meeting, "The loss was my fault," and apologizes for it. A vote is held. 3 people vote for Si-chin to step down, and 2 people vote for him to remain in his position. Alex hasn't arrived yet. Si-chin is informed that he is no longer the president. Just then, Alex arrives and stops the voting. He says, "I think Si-chin should remain the president." Si-chin thanks Alex for this. Outside, Si-chin tells everyone, "I am still the president." Shi is very happy. Alex tells her, "I will sign a contract with your brand." Si-chin comes to Shi and kisses her. In the next scene, Shi is very happy with Si-chin and tells him about opening her store in the mall. A scene from 1 month later is shown. Si-chin asks Shi, "What's the secret opening day and what dress will you wear?" But Shi doesn't tell him. Both of them go to the same place for arrangements, but accidentally they seize each other. Both of them tries to hide but bumps into each other, and they get lost in thought. Then Si-chin kisses her and tells Faying to leave. Meanwhile, Shi also tells Xiaoya to go away. In the next scene, Shi-wei invites Shi to meet her in a restaurant and tells her, "I am leaving from here. Please forgive me for whatever I did to you." Shi tells her, "You will also find your life partner soon." Shi-wei says goodbye to both of them and leaves. In the next scene, the day of Shi's brand opening is shown. The show begins, and everyone loves the dresses designed by Shi. Si-chin wears his outfit. Shi appears, wearing a white dress, and she looks very beautiful. Everyone gathers around. Shi goes to Si-chin to propose as him, but he proposes her. Si-chin gives her a ring and says, "Will you marry me?" The two then kisses, and with this, the drama ends happily. If you want to watch more dramas like this, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the videos.